Hey, listen, by the way, what do you know about rice?
Well, I had it thrown at me on one of the darkest days of my life.
The views expressed on the following broadcasts do not necessarily reflect those of KHLT, Take 12 Radio, or our affiliates. The opinions on this show should not be considered as medical, psychological, or professional advice and are those of the host, co-host, and guest. Take 12 Radio and KHLT Recovery Broadcasting are not affiliated with any particular 12-step fellowship. And now, here are your co-hosts.
Yes, indeed.
Tony, Bruce, and the Monty Man.
That's right. Pow! That's right. Little sound effects there. Welcome to the show, everybody. Welcome to the great reality here at Take 12 Radio, take12radio.com on your internet dial. So I'm going to get this out of the way right now really fast. On Monday, June 6th, will be our anniversary show. Monday, June 6th. We'll be celebrating here at Take 12 Radio 12 years of broadcasting. Yay!
Yeah.
Whee! 12 years of broadcasting. You don't want to miss that because we're going to be playing more recovery music than usual. We're going to be giving away some stuff.
And I'm going to sing.
Bruce. All right, just cancel everything we just said. We may just ask you to sing, Bruce.
Oh, I would love it. That would be amazing.
Yeah, so we get some surprises for you for that day. So make sure you tune in Monday afternoon. We tape the show in the morning. So there's that there. At 12 years. Wow.
That's a long time.
12 years. Mm-hmm. I'm probably not even going to be alive another 12 years.
Yes, you will.
Oh, okay.
Don't say
well,
that.
I said, I told my kids a long time ago that I was going to live to 100, and if I made it to 100, I was going to take out a 20-year extension. So then I'd live to 120.
Hey, I like that.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
I don't think it quite works that way, but
It does too.
okay.
So Tony brought in some from the island of Fiji, some natural artesian water. Now, do the artesians live on Fiji? Sounds kind of like a contradiction. Is there even a land of Artesia?
We should Google it.
And she also brought in so what would you call this?
That's trail mix. I made a
trail
Winco.
mix. Okay.
They have like 5 or 6, or no, actually more than that, bins at Winco, and you can put in whatever you want. So there's cashews, M&Ms, salted and salted
you
nuts.
did the mix?
I made the mix.
Oh, cool.
Like a wheat, you know.
Like what?
I was trying to rap, but that was awful. You know how they screech to like a record? No,
that was her version of
yeah.
pop, 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 pop.
That's right.
What's in this water? No, it's cashews, chocolate chips, M&Ms, and nuts. A different variety of nuts.
Some people will put raisins in there. Maybe.
I don't like raisins.
Well, no, I guess
hate
when
raisins.
people start putting that stuff in there, then they call it gork or gorp or something like
That's
that.
why I make my own mix, because
Yeah.
everything you buy has like more raisins than anything.
Did you know that Chex cereals that they put in a lot of things is gluten-free? I didn't know that. Mm-hmm. All the Chex cereals is gluten-free. Did you know that there's a ton of stuff that we eat that's gluten-free? And when they discovered the whole gluten thing, they started putting labels on it and jacked the prices up about 20%?
Yep.
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 Yep. Yep. Yep. Yep. So this week's topic.
That was our trivia.
Yeah, no, it wasn't.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah, this week's topic is closed meetings. Closed meetings. So we're going to open up a can of worms. Mm-hmm. So here's our email address. TAKE12 radio at Comcast.net. In other words, take12radio at Comcast.net. If you'd like to email us your opinion about closed meetings. And for those of you who are listening that don't know what I'm talking about, I will explain here momentarily. But here's several ways to listen to the show. You can go to take12radio.com STAKE 12radio.com. You can type in the number or the word, doesn't matter. And you can click on Listen Online. You can click on Watch Online. That'll take you to our YouTube version. Or you can click on the archives link. Or you can click on Follow Us on Podomatic. We really, 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 if you click on Listen Online, it'll take you to the Podomatic page. If you're on your computer, you can follow us there. But if you click on Follow Us on Podomatic, that's what we really want you to do. It's still relatively new to a lot of you.
Yeah.
But if you click on that and you can subscribe from that page and follow us and like us, it helps with our demographics. They'll never spam you. They'll just give you an update on your phone or in your email whenever of when there's a new show. That would really help. Please, everybody that's on a Podomatic, will you please remember to like the show? Mm-hmm. Even if you hate the show, just click like the show. Right?
And they don't spam you. I'm on it, and
they
it just says when a show's on.
Yeah.
That's how I know.
Like the show, click on follow every time you go on there, because it helps.
Is spamming painful?
Spamming?
Yeah, because that comes in a can, doesn't it?
Oh, Lord. Spam. That spamming is just another term, Bruce, for inundating people with tons of email or tons of notifications that are unimportant and are useless.
Wait. Let me put it in AOL version. Junk mail.
Junk mail, yeah.
See? You knew.
Bruce.
And they call it spamming.
They call it spamming, yeah. Nobody wants spam. I actually kind of like fried spam.
I think I've heard the term, but I ate it.
You ate it or hate it?
Or ate it.
Ate it.
Oh.
Or ate it.
I like it. I like it fried or just
Have you
raw.
tried spam musubi?
What?
Spam musubi. It's spam with... That's wrapped in...
Chocolate mousse?
No. Seaweed, and I think there's some fish
Oh,
in
no.
there.
Come on. No.
It's really good. That's the only way I'll eat it.
No.
Yeah, I think it's
Spam
tuna,
wrapped in
spam,
No.
and wrapped in seaweed or something like that.
Oh, gosh. Please, Lord.
Or rice. Maybe it's
Oh, dude.
spam and rice wrapped in seaweed, but it's actually really good. Sounds grosser than gross, but
I'm
it's
with
good.
Bruce. That just sounds absolutely horrid.
If I eat spam, that's the only way I'll eat it is spam musubi. My daughter loves that stuff. She loves spam. Anything.
So what is up with people simply having an opinion about something that's different from somebody else's, and now we're calling them haters? You're a hater. You hate us. You hate our cause. You hate our belief system just because we have a difference of opinion. That doesn't mean I hate you. I just don't agree with you. But I'm not condemning you or telling you that I hate you and I have this. Hate's an awfully strong word. I'll tell you something I hate. I hate Brussels sprouts. I absolutely hate them. And I mean, if I see one, I will attack it. I hate Brussels sprouts.
He likes to put it in a slingshot and shoot it down the
That's
street.
right. But I've never had a Brussels sprout post on my Facebook that I'm a hater. I just don't get it. Just because this is supposed to be the land of the free and the home of the brave. I can't have a difference of opinion without being accused of being a hater.
Of course not. Not anymore.
Gee. Grow up. So who's the hater? Me or the person accusing me of being one?
Let's calm down before we get... We don't want to get to closed meetings with that kind of attitude.
Better drink some Fiji water here.
I think ignorance is bliss, because if you don't agree with somebody about something or have a difference of opinion, then you're a hater. Then it's like, okay, well, whatever. I still like my opinion.
Whatever.
I don't care, really.
And yet these people that...
I really don't.
Yet these same people that accuse us of being haters because we may have a conservative opinion or a biblical opinion or even for those of us that are of a certain faith, maybe your faith is different than ours and we don't call you haters. I mean, so who's the hater? I mean, if you're just bashing on me just because I disagree... I mean, and these are the same folks that say there's diversity. I mean, unity in diversity.
Oh, that pisses me off.
We want to have diversity. But then as soon as we're diverse, they're complaining.
Yes. Yes.
Where is this coming from?
Everywhere.
You guys ought to stay off Facebook.
No, it's not even in person.
So if you're getting as upset as I am about this,
I'm right behind you because it's stupid.
Bruce is right. Unplug.
Yeah. Cheers to Bruce.
Or do
With
this.
coffee.
Or just go. There you go.
I just look at him, shake my head, and say, I don't care, and walk away.
People, grow up.
Oh, especially during the president's vote. Oh, dear God, everybody's a politician.
Yeah. You know.
But that's a different show.
I can't. I'm sorry, but I'm going to say this. No, I'm not sorry. If I was sorry, I wouldn't say it. So I'm going to say it. Mm-hmm. The best political bumper sticker I have seen all year. It just simply it had stars and stripes on it. It just simply said, "We're screwed."
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, wow, I couldn't think of it better.
Well, I like Sanders because he's pro recovery, tried to get people help. That's it.
Okay.
Well, that's what I heard when I listened to him. He probably lying his butt off.
I don't know. I like when Marv used to say, "I can't know."
I can't know. Mickey Mouse would do.
So my son says, "This is I've waited 18 years to be able to vote for our president, and these are my choices."
I'm sorry, Colin.
He's really bummed out.
Just don't vote. Wait till next time.
So you notice we're not taking sides here because we're not going to do that on this show. But you can understand that people on both sides of the fence are very frustrated. This is crazy time. But that's not what our topic is. Our topic today is closed meetings. And we're going to be talking about that here in just a minute. So don't go away. We'll be right back with some Take 12 trivia. Yes, indeedy.
When you hear that bell, you'll know it's time for Recovery 101. Recovery 101 with Bruce, Shelley, and Mark is a recovery broadcast based loosely on 12-step recovery programs. But it's less like a meeting and more like going to coffee afterwards. You know, the meeting after the meeting. Ooh. Your host used to suffer from insanity, but now they absolutely, unapologetically enjoy it.
That's right.
For incredible fun and informative recovery radio, tune in to Recovery 101 at recovery101.net on your internet dial.
And now.
It's the quiz of the week.
Mm-hmm.
That's right, everybody.
That's right.
It's time for Take 12 Radio's Quiz of the Week, sponsored by that recovery magazine, the 12-Step Gazette. Visit their website at 12stepgazette.com. Now, here's the Muncie Man.
I miss Cecil.
Okay, so at the very beginning of the show, the little sound clip that you heard, who was that? You guys know who that was? When the one gentleman said, "What do you know about rice?" and the other gentleman said,
"Yeah, I heard that."
Said, "I had some thrown out."
The worst day of my life.
The worst day of my life, referring to his wedding.
Mm-hmm.
I'm lost. I have no idea.
He must have been a hater. He hated people. He didn't like rice, so he hated people.
It wasn't the Honeymooners, was it?
No.
I'm not a movie person.
That was from the Lucy show. I Love Lucy.
What?
Oh,
Yeah, that was
that
Ricky
right?
Ricardo.
That was not.
And Fred
Wow.
Mirth or whatever his name
Yeah.
was. Yeah.
Yeah.
So in light of that, this week's trivia is rice.
I got
trivia.
the right era, didn't I?
Yeah, you got the right era. Rice trivia. Rice trivia.
I like rice.
You like rice?
White rice.
White rice. I like sticky rice.
I like fried rice.
I like sesame seed rice.
So this is according to foodreference.com. And here are your 3 trivia questions and a bonus. If you get it wrong, of course, you hear that. If you get it right,
Just go ahead and
what state,
trigger me.
number 1, what state is the largest production of rice in our country, in the United States?
Oh, dear God.
Is it Arkansas, California, or Idaho?
Well, Idaho's potatoes. I'll say Arkansas.
Arkansas? Bruce?
I'll go with California.
Sorry, Bruce.
Yeah.
But Tony got it right. Arkansas is the largest producer of rice in the U.S., according to about 46% of U.S. rice production. Accounting for, excuse me. Okay, number 2. Rice is the first food a new bride in India offers to her husband. And the first food offered to, here are your choices, the sun god after the wedding, newborn babies, or newborn cattle.
Oh, my God.
This is in India.
Okay. Do they have
The sun god.
Sun god?
I say baby
Baby cows?
Yeah, thank you. I can't talk today.
Well, you're close, but no cigar. It's actually the first food introduced to newborn babies.
I knew that.
Oh, you did not.
Okay, I
Like-
didn't.
Fish scales?
Fish scales, lipstick.
That still haunts me.
Okay.
Number 3.
I've got 2 wrong.
2 wrong. Number 3. 1 seed.
I hope I don't get this one right.
1 seed of rice yields how many grains of rice?
Oh, come on.
Here's your choices: 500, 1,000, or 3,000.
1,000? A lot?
A lot, Bruce. 1 seed of rice yields this many grains.
I'm going to go with the least amount because I want to get them all wrong.
500? Well, you're both wrong. It's 3,000. 3,000. 1 seed. Look at you.
Fist bump.
They're fist bumping each other. Look at this. Oh, my gosh. It is the highest yielding cereal grain and can grow in many kinds of environments and soils, which is why it is grown everywhere except Antarctica. I don't know many things that grow in Antarctica.
They just had it thrown around fast.
Let's get on with the bonus.
All right, here's the bonus.
I'm betting 1,000.
Where was rice first grown?
Oh, Jesus.
Antarctica.
No, it was not. Was it in Asia, Colombia, or the United States?
Well, okay. See, that can go either way because okay, I won't say that. That's another show. I'll just say Colombia.
Antarctica. I'm going to bet 1,000. I don't care.
Now, see, if I was guessing, I would have said Asia. But actually, rice was first grown in the U.S., in the Carolinas in late 1680s with rice seeds that most likely came from Madagascar.
I would have got that right. So I'm good thing I went with Antarctica.
It's a good thing.
And that's part of the U.S., isn't it?
Antarctica?
No, that's Alaska.
But Alaska's part of the U.S.
Alaska
is.
Oh, next week we'll be doing geography.
Oh, please don't. I barely passed that class.
Lord have mercy.
All right.
Rice trivia. Right here.
Oh,
Very, very informative. Thank you, Money Man. You're welcome. All right, we'll be back right after this with the topic, closed meetings.
This is Chris Schroeder. You are listening to Take12Radio.com, recovery talk and positive music.
Lifeline Connections made a difference in my life. I am free.
I am strong and empowered. Lifeline Connections changed our lives.
To begin your journey of healing today, call 360-397-8246 or visit lifelineconnections.org.
Sugar. Oh, honey, honey.
You are my candy girl. And I can't Who was that, Bruce?
I don't know who it is, but it's one of my favorites.
Scoot up to your mic there, buddy.
Oh.
Bruce hates being told what to do. That was the Archies. The Archies.
I remember my brother.
I wouldn't have got that.
Downstairs dancing with people to it.
Oh,
that's the only reason I remember it.
I could bop.
You can bop.
You could bop?
I can bop.
Beep, bop, 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 beep, beep, bop. All right, the topic this week. This topic this week may be controversial to you. I don't know. It seems that some people are split down the middle on this one. The topic is closed meetings. What's a closed meeting? Well, you may think that a closed meeting is a meeting that has been closed, that is no longer in existence. No, that's not what a closed meeting is. A closed meeting is most commonly in most of your 12-step fellowships is a meeting that is not open to people other than those who believe that they have an issue with the main focus of that fellowship meeting. For instance, you have an issue with alcohol, or you have you have a problem with narcotics, or if you were at a closed meeting of Overeaters Anonymous, you'd be somebody that truly believes you have a problem with overeating, that kind of thing. And they're not open to the general public.
Yeah.
But are they, or aren't they? Well, this is what I thought I'd do. I thought I'd go to the horse's mouth, so to speak, of the mothership. And so I went to aa.org, and I pulled up a couple of things. First of all, I pulled up these are suggested door or window signs for an AA meeting that is closed and one that is open. This is from aa.org. This is right from the organization of Alcoholics Anonymous. The first window sign says, this is a closed meeting of Alcoholics Anonymous. This is a closed meeting of AA in support of AA's singleness of purpose. Attendance at closed meetings is limited to persons who have a desire to stop drinking. If you think you have a problem with alcohol, you are welcome to attend this meeting. We ask that when discussing your problems, we confine ourselves to those problems as they relate to alcoholism. Okay, now here is, Tony, why don't you read, this is an open meeting.
All right, this is an open meeting of Alcoholics Anonymous. Is the title. This is an open meeting of Alcoholics Anonymous. We are glad you are here. You are all here, especially newcomers. In keeping with our singleness of purpose and our third tradition, which states that the only requirement for AA membership is a desire to stop drinking, we ask that all who participate confine their discussion to their problems with alcohol.
Okay, so let's look at these two for a minute. And
yeah, that was weird.
The last sentence in both of these, now remember, this comes from the General Service Office, is very confusing to me, because the last sentence says in the open meeting, we ask that all who participate confine their discussion to their problems with alcohol. The one in closed meeting says, we ask that when discussing our problems, we confine ourselves to the problems as they relate to alcoholism.
Yeah.
Two very different things. Alcohol is simply an inanimate object. Alcoholism, is the illness we talk about. So right there, I find a contradiction. But so in the closed meetings, we confine our discussion to the alcoholism. In open meetings, we confine our discussion to the problems with alcohol. So that was my first thing that I noticed that was a little weird. And also in the closed meeting statement, it says, if you think, it doesn't say if you know, it says if you think you have a problem with alcohol, you're welcome to attend this meeting.
Yeah.
So that means you don't have to believe you're an alcoholic. You just have to be curious. Maybe I am. I don't know. I think I may have a problem. So which is it? Are you allowed to be there if you just think it? Or you can't be there unless you know it? And now I know this sounds petty. And some of you are going, oh my goodness, give it a break. But it doesn't sound petty to the newcomer. Because I've had people say, I'm confused. Because I've gone to a closed meeting. I'm not sure if I have a problem with alcoholism. I mean, there are problems that seem to be happening when I drink. I think I may be. But when I was asked at the meeting, because I was new, are you an alcoholic? And I said, I don't know. They asked me to leave.
That's not right. And I thought open meetings, well, I was pretty sure before I read these things, because this is just weird, but I thought, any open meeting could be discussed about any topic where you're having a problem in your life, controlling anything, whether it has to do with alcohol, drugs, gambling.
No.
Not gambling? Just alcohol, drugs?
No. It's according to the letter of the law, it's supposed to only be surrounded around problems with alcohol in an open meeting.
In an open meeting?
In an open meeting. In a closed meeting, yeah, it says in the open meeting when it says, we ask that all who participate confine their discussion to their problems with alcohol.
Mm-hmm. But that's what I'm saying. Like, even in our meetings, my home group, we have like a variety of people.
So if the problem, according to, see, this contradicts our own literature.
Mm-hmm.
Because for the open meeting one here, if our literature is correct and it says, that our problem is self-centeredness,
Mm-hmm.
selfishness, and from it form all sorts of forms of spiritual disease, blah, 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 then the problem isn't the alcohol.
It's the thinking.
Right. But this says you can only discuss your problems with alcohol. So what are my problems with alcohol? Well, it doesn't take off Sharpie marker on my desk very well. That's one problem I have with alcohol. I don't like the smell of it. That's a problem I have. I mean, come on. Are you serious?
Yeah.
Are we talking about going to meetings because we want to discuss the solution? Our problems we have with alcohol? I don't get that. I just don't get it. So that seems weird. But no, when you were talking about, Tony, was we confine ourselves to those problems as they relate to alcoholism, was the closed meeting. So hold that thought just for a second. Bruce, you wanted to ask a question.
Yeah. I think a statement first. I'll make a statement. First of all, I don't believe that most people know what meetings are for. Meetings.
I think you're right.
In
general, closed or open or otherwise.
And the question I have is, do we really know at this point, with the changes that AA has been through, of why they had open and closed meetings to begin with?
I don't think most people do.
I honestly don't know.
I don't know. I have been through a, how will I say, a litany.
A litany, yeah.
Of things for thinking I know and finding out that I don't know.
Exactly.
Yeah. So that's why I went to AA.org to see what the fellowship, the written word, the law, if you will, says.
But yeah, if you look at it, though,
which by the way, go ahead.
Look when it was printed or made up.
No, I know.
That's like
But they haven't changed it.
No.
Okay, so this is, if you go to AA.org and you look up information on, in the area, information on Alcoholics Anonymous, for anyone new coming to AA, for anyone referring people to AA, this is the category it's under. It says, singleness of purpose and problems other than alcohol. And this is what it reads. It says, some professionals refer to alcoholism and drug addiction as substance abuse or chemical dependency. Non-alcoholics are, therefore, sometimes introduced to AA and encouraged to attend AA meetings. Non-alcoholics may attend open AA meetings as observers. So an observer is not somebody that comments, shares, or serves. They just are there to observe. So according to the letter of the law in AA, somebody who is not an alcoholic, and we can talk about what that means, okay, is only welcome as an observer. They can sit, not talk, and listen. That's according to the letter of the law, folks. Then it says, but, and that always cracks me up, because when you say but, it means everything I just said is baloney.
It's crap.
Yeah. But only those with a drinking problem may attend closed AA meetings. And so then it gives the descriptions. Descriptions: open speaker meetings, open to alcoholics and non-alcoholics. Open discussion meetings. One member speaks briefly about his or her drinking experience and then leads to discussions. And then the third one, closed discussion meetings, which is kind of what we're talking about here. Conducted just as open discussions are, but for alcoholics or prospective AAs only. Prospective AAs?
That's just weird. I'm sorry. It's like,
if you think you have a problem.
Yeah.
If you think you have a problem.
But you're not sure.
So if I'm not sure, but I think I may, why am I being told I can't be in a closed meeting? When it says that if you think you do, you're welcome in a closed meeting. But yet there are meetings all over this country that are closed. Get very upset unless you are absolutely certain that you have a problem with drinking.
I'm glad I don't run my meetings that way.
It's
You want me
just
to tell
weird.
you where I was thinking that maybe these closed meetings had started from, and
Yeah, go ahead.
how far out that I could be, and I'm now this is only what I come up with because there's such a huge discussion about this.
Yeah.
I thought it was around people that were business people to close these meetings to attendance where these people could come and feel safe because they're business people.
Because they're in the public eye and they didn't want people to know.
Actors, business people, lawyers, these type of people. And I thought they had closed meetings where they could go and feel safe, where they could discuss their problems, and people could get to know them and approach them and say, "Me too."
Right.
See, that's what I think a
And
meeting's for.
actually, I went to a history thing a number of years ago down in Irvine, California, and that's exactly what they said.
Oh, wow.
It was for people that were more or less in the public eye that wanted to protect their anonymity, and they did not want people coming in from the outside.
So here's how it's spread.
Right.
And it's got this other purpose today.
Right.
Gay meetings are closed meetings. This is where you
Gay
go.
and lesbian meetings are closed meetings?
Yeah, this is where you go if you're gay or a lesbian.
But you can't go unless you're gay or lesbian.
Well, I
or
don't know
transsexual
that.
or whatever.
I think then it could be open to all.
Well, and I know
You
there's
see-
a lot of closed men and closed women meetings, and that's
Again,
kind of going
that's
on.
where I was
yeah.
going next. Then it's gender.
Yeah.
They have closed meeting for men, and they got. You see what I mean? There's a reason for the closed, and it's pretty specific, and so we don't mess with that. But then when it gets shadowed like this,
yes,
What it said on the paper, yeah.
yeah,
That's where it becomes confusing.
And we think, well, I have a problem, so I can come into this closed meeting. For a while I thought it was about book studies, like that was part of a closed meeting. But then I realized that's not a meeting to begin with.
Exactly.
See?
It's a book study.
Yeah, it's a book study.
Yeah.
See? And people are so confused.
They are.
That they think that that's a meeting, and they could go there, and they've even been told by the chairperson that if something is bothering you, that will save you from drinking, share it. And
Right.
we're doing a book study.
Right. Right.
You see? And I says, oh, because there's a huge difference between a book study and a meeting.
Absolutely. And we attend a book study.
Yeah.
We attend a book study, and it's totally different. The only thing we read, and this goes into the spirit of being autonomous as far as meetings go, the only thing we read is the steps and the traditions, and then we go right into the book study. And it's a study. It's not a book share. It's a study. We study it line by line.
We want to know what's in that book. It's important to us.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not your typical a meeting.
So where am I?
Study.
So where am I wrong on this thing, Monty? Because I feel kind of lost with this topic, with people. About why we have them and why we don't. And
the initial purpose of a closed meeting was so people could feel comfortable about sharing details about their issues with alcohol without other people that were not alcoholics coming in and then perhaps blowing the whistle on them. And what it's turned into is we have these specialty meetings, which, by the way, in my opinion, as well as the opinion of many thousands of members of Alcoholics Anonymous, is that that's a traditions violation.
Yeah.
To have specialty meetings and close them to people that don't fall in line with that particular specialty, so to speak. So if you have a men's meeting and you're closing that meeting off to everybody but men, that's a traditions break.
Yeah.
Because the only requirement for membership is the desire to stop drinking.
Exactly.
But now here's the other side of the coin. People that would oppose what I just said. They say, yes, the only requirement for membership is a desire to stop drinking. But membership is different than meeting attendance. So that would be the flip side of the coin.
Yeah, and I've even been kicked out well, not really kicked out. I went with my recovery group way back when, and they're like, "What are you doing here? We need you to leave," because it was a men's meeting. And I didn't even think about it because I just don't look at people. But I looked around and I'm like, oh, it is all men. They're like, we can't start the meeting until you leave.
So
I was like,
I'm thinking,
okay. And I was not even a year new yet.
I suspect that there are some very healthy meetings that are closed that are still operating in the spirit of the original intent to protect people's anonymity very, very carefully. But I also suspect that there are many, 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 many closed meetings that their whole purpose is just being right fighters. They just don't want you in there unless, you've thrown up on your shoes more than the average guy, and so they kind of have an attitude, and they will act. And I sat in meetings where specific people would actually, if they didn't recognize the person, and I'm talking about Bruce from long ago, he's no longer there, he's over in another town. But if he did not recognize you in a closed meeting, he would speak up in the middle of the meeting and say, excuse me, are you an alcoholic? I don't know. Okay, well then you're not welcome here.
See, that's not
exactly
right.
what
That's
he would
not
say.
right.
You're not welcome here. He wouldn't pull him aside. He wouldn't be kind, or, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's not attraction rather than promotion. That's promoting your own agenda, and that's cruel. And so the poor guy's sitting there shaking like a leaf. Just because you have DTs doesn't mean you're an alcoholic. But he's shaking like a leaf. He's been told there's support down on 3rd Street or so, and you can go get some help. And you don't know, and the poor guy doesn't know if he's alcoholic or not, and he's asked to leave.
So how do we get to gay meetings from men and women's meetings? Because I believe that there are meetings taking place where we've separated by the genders that are very productive. And because we have a tendency to want to cater to the women,
right?
The men do, okay? So when we don't have the women there, there's distractions not there. And they seem to be able to, at some point, to start to share, and we'll get to know who they are. Now, I don't know what takes place in the women's meeting, but I'm going to dress up and drag one day and go ahead and find out.
We're already having issues with restrooms, Bruce. Don't do that.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know what happens in women's meetings.
No, and it's the same thing. I know a lot of women in a couple of women's meetings I go to. I won't say them anywhere else but that meeting. But some of these specialty ones, they don't even close them, and that's what I like about it. They show perfect example that they want to be around certain individuals, but they don't close it. They leave it open.
Yeah, I'm not talking about all the meetings do that, but I have seen them closed because I've walked into meetings that were gay, and they didn't throw me out.
No, I didn't get thrown out either. I went to the the LGBT, whatever.
That's a good meeting.
And I was welcome. And I've gone to meetings where I was told I wouldn't be welcomed, and the truth was I was. You can't always trust what other people are saying because they may have a resentment or whatever. But I think, my whole purpose for bringing this thing up is because what is our singleness of purpose? What is the primary purpose of a 12-step, at least,
to help other alcoholics to achieve sobriety?
Yep.
Right. It's not to help people who are not alcoholics to achieve sobriety. That's not the primary. Now, we do that, and I think that's a good call, but that's not the primary purpose. The primary purpose is to help alcoholics achieve sobriety.
Yeah.
The primary purpose of Narcotics Anonymous is to help addicts, get clean and be free from the bondage of addiction.
So you're saying that this closed and open thing, it pertains just to the alcoholic problem. We're trying to separate the people that's using drugs?
Well, if you go by the letter of the law, which I don't always adhere to, but according to what's coming out of New York, yes. Here's the issue, though. According to Alcoholics Anonymous, alcohol is an addiction. You can read it in the literature. According to Alcoholics Anonymous and the American Medical Association, alcohol is a drug.
Yeah.
Therefore, if you are an alcoholic, you are a drug addict. It's just a no-brainer. So to say addicts aren't welcome is really a contradiction. Now, if you want to say, well, if you're a meth head, you're not welcome to a closed meeting, that would make sense. But to say if you have a problem with drugs, but they specifically say what drug. They say alcohol in the open meeting sign. In the closed meeting sign, they say alcoholism.
Because that's the illness.
Yes. So
I got you where you're going.
Yeah. So maybe that needs to be worded
revised
a little differently.
A lot.
Yeah. But going back to our primary purpose, the primary purpose of AA is to carry its message. What's the message? The steps.
These people don't learn this thing, what you're talking about.
They don't.
Between these two things, because they're just going to meetings and discussing their problems or
drinking bad coffee. Yeah.
And drinking, bad coffee.
Hey.
So doesn't the primary purpose trump everything? Doesn't it trump everything?
Oh, the hope is there's somebody in there that has a solution.
Right.
And I got lucky with my sponsor. She knows what the solution is.
We're telling people they could sponsor with 1 day. You have 1 day more than this guy.
No, that's wrong.
Oh, my goodness.
I don't believe in that at all.
Doing it.
So, I mean, we're talking about something greater than this.
Yeah, we are.
We can't even stay focused on this because of what it is. But, Monty, the book assumes we're ignorant, and there's something in it that it wants to tell us.
Right. You betcha.
And if we're talking about our experience, strength, and hope. So our experience is what happened to us, and our strength is that we did these steps and we found this spiritual connection, and now what it's like today, we're free. I mean, it's right. It's really simple.
Exactly.
It is very simple.
But they think it's what happened.
And
now I'm sitting
exactly.
And now I'm sitting in the rooms telling you.
Right.
You see?
So let me read this again.
There's no solution there.
This is from AA.org. So don't argue with me. Go to AA.org.
Yeah, Bruce.
There's a lot of people spouting what AA's this and that is, and they have no idea. According to New York office, our main office, our World Service office, the primary purpose of Alcoholics Anonymous is to carry its message of recovery. What is that? The steps within the book. In a lot of places, they don't even go there. To the alcoholic seeking help.
Yeah.
It is the actual sentence, and that's AA World Services Incorporated, Box 459, Grand Central
There's
Station.
only one way to translate that because it was so short and sweet. What we're supposed to do is let people come in, and we're supposed to listen to them. Now, if we have a solution and somebody's sharing, then we'll know how to approach them.
That's right.
You see? But what we want to do is talk because we think we can give a pill
exactly
that's going to cure this guy.
Right.
See?
It's
we'll
not
say
so much
something that'll
then.
just zoom into him and he'll be okay. My goodness, man.
Yeah.
Listen to what we're saying. You can't do that for yourself, and you think you can do it for somebody sitting across the table?
And that's why when a newcomer comes in, I never directly talk right to them. I'll just tell them a little bit of my story, but I'm more focused on how I changed and what my solution is today. Because if you're focusing on what you already did, we already know what you did.
See, that's the only way you're going to help them. Is
to show them the way.
them that you have something.
Exactly.
So check this out.
Don't speak about God, Bruce.
Yeah, really. Check this out. If our primary purpose does trump everything else, because it has to, otherwise you wouldn't call it primary. If our primary purpose trumps everything else, then if a woman comes into a men's meeting and she's shaken like a leaf, or a man goes into a woman's meeting, or somebody straight goes into a gay lesbian meeting, or somebody who's a businessman goes into a farmer's meeting, because believe it or not, there are those meetings. There are so many specialty meetings. If they're seeking help, according to this,
let them stay.
That trumps whether it's closed or open.
Exactly.
You're there to help the alcoholic, not if they're the alcoholic who may be gay or lesbian or straight or crooked or backwards or frontwards or of different race or religion or faith.
Yep.
It doesn't matter who they are, other than the fact that they are seeking help for their problems with alcohol. It says it both, alcohol or alcoholism. Then your primary purpose kicks into action, and it is your responsibility as chairperson for that meeting to welcome that person in that meeting.
Amen.
I don't agree.
You don't?
Well, I think that if they have a meeting like that and it's closed, and I think the healthy meetings are like that, and somebody comes along, I think that they should give that person help. But I don't necessarily mean that means invite them into the meeting. It's put them in a direction where there is a meeting. Take them there.
Okay, but what if they need that now, or they may die? You tell them.
No, that's not going to happen.
Yeah, I've seen some pretty shaky people walk in.
Wait. I don't know that that's the responsibility to make that kind of judgment. If they're that sick, let's get them to a hospital.
So then we need to change our primary purpose.
Our primary purpose can stay the same. That doesn't mean we're supposed to open the door and let them in. If this is the meeting and it's closed and you'd like to keep it that way, and that's the function of it because of the gender issue, because of men and women, I think it should be up to that group to see that person that comes there gets help.
Okay, but
That's where all the meetings are going wrong right there.
Okay. But
we're making our own rules as we go along.
I'm not going to disagree with you, but I will say that what happens is that doesn't happen. They're just asked to leave.
Oh, yeah, it doesn't happen.
It doesn't happen.
It doesn't happen. But you see what I'm saying. They can't throw the doors wide open because, I mean, look at our meeting, Monty. It's a men's meeting.
Yeah.
And I would like to keep it that way as much as I'd like to see women there.
Right.
But I know that it would take away from the group. And we'd be catering to the woman.
Good point. Good point.
Debate.
So let me give you, I can be a little flexible in that area. I think he's right.
No.
Actually, I think he's right when I think about it. I get that.
But I think it's our responsibility to help a woman if she comes there.
Right.
And she's sick, especially if she's shaken. I think it's our responsibility to get her a ride someplace. To take her over here. We know where there's a group that's open 4 times a day.
It's not like there's only one meeting in town.
Yeah.
You bet.
Now, if there was, that may be a different thing.
Yeah.
But most towns have several. Yeah. So here's something that's kind of fun, though. Here's something that's kind of interesting. A lot of the people that are right fighters about this is a closed meeting. You're not welcome in here unless you can verbally say you are an alcoholic. Because I want to protect my anonymity, are in the open meetings talking about their stuff openly. If they're so adamant at protecting their anonymity, why are they sharing in open meetings?
Oh, I know one guy like that.
But then they're saying, I want to protect my anonymity in the closed meeting. Then don't share in the open meeting. What are you, crazy? In other words, what I'm thinking is, you really don't know what you're thinking.
I don't think they know what anonymity is.
Exactly.
I don't think they do either.
Yeah. These words that most of us don't know when we come to Alcoholics Anonymous, we really should look them up and see what they're about. And more specifically, we ought to look and see how they're being used in Alcoholics Anonymous. What does it mean, that anonymity is the spiritual foundation of all our traditions? What are they talking about there?
Well, actually, in the assembly, one thing I do remember about it, well, one of many, they were talking about anonymity, and they made perfect examples, like, naming yourself on Facebook as an alcoholic.
A member of
alcoholic is breaking anonymity. Putting a obituary of somebody saying he was a member of of AA is a breach of anonymity.
Well, according to New York, that's up to the family.
That's from New York.
Yes.
Because
that's up to the family.
So let me say what
that's not what they said, though, at the assembly.
It certainly used to be.
I know.
Let me say what you're saying in a completely different manner. Okay? It's learning to put your stuff aside for the betterment of the group.
Right. I agree.
But see, I don't mind calling myself out as an alcoholic because I'm comfortable with it.
Okay, so
if you're self-centered, you want to practice not being that way and being unselfish. That's a very hard thing to do without God's help.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you'll go to God and ask Him, "Can you help me do better?"
Yeah.
I just seem to be messing up here.
Yeah.
This is a good show.
So again, I'm opening up the whole can of worms where people are itching to. Man, I wish I could call you up right now. That's why I would give you an email. But here's the deal. Again, I go back to, if you're so concerned about your privacy in the closed meeting, then why are you sharing the same stuff in the open meeting? Obviously, that is not your concern. Obviously, there's something going on. I think it's very prideful and self-centered.
Exactly.
You know, in that. But check this out. Look at this. From this same page in AA.org for anyone new coming to AA, there's a piece in here that says what AA does not do. Okay, this is what AA does not do. And I think they should change that to, this is what some AA groups do not do.
Mm-hmm.
Because this is actually, most of this is actually not true at all. AA does not furnish initial motivation for alcoholics to recover. We don't.
What?
We do not furnish initial motivation for alcoholics to recover.
Initially.
Okay.
All right.
Maybe you don't. Number 2, we don't solicit members. Really? We don't solicit members.
Yeah, we bring people there all the
time. Oh, we do it all the time. Number 3, we don't engage in or sponsor research. We definitely don't sponsor research, but we engage in it all the time.
You bet we do.
Delegates from AA and general service reps and everything will go to all sorts of things that are not AA to investigate about alcoholism. And we're learning more and more all the time. So that's not true. We do not keep attendance records. Yes, we do. Lots of meetings do. Lots of meetings send a thing around and you sign your name that you were there.
I've never been to a meeting like that.
Oh yeah, lots and lots of meetings.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
they're getting fewer and fewer.
I had the honor of seeing the original attendance records from the first meetings that were encased in a airtight thing that Dick B had, the world's #1 historian on AA history, and it had the names, first and last, and phone numbers of the first 45 people.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was amazing. So we do keep attendance records. We do not follow up or try to control its members. Are you
Not
serious?
physically.
We try to control each other constantly.
We're alcoholics.
And we do follow up. We encourage it. You know, hey, John, pick up the phone. Hey, John, haven't seen you in a while. Just checking up on you. Are you okay, man? Do you need to ride to a meeting or what's going on? We do it all the time.
I do it all the time.
If we can do that, well, never mind. I will get back to that argument.
We do not offer religious services or host or sponsor retreats.
That's bullcrap. Because I know we were just talking a couple shows ago about how I think you were saying it, how somebody asked if it would be proper to go out on break and talk about like their church.
Yeah.
Or invite them to.
Well, that's a little different than sponsoring a religious.
Sponsoring a religion?
Right,
oh, okay, then no.
Right.
No.
But we do host and sponsor retreats. We do it all the time.
Yeah.
All the time. All the time. We do not engage in education about alcohol. We certainly do. We certainly do. It's in the doctor's opinion. We do not provide housing, food, clothing, jobs, money, or any other welfare service or social services.
We do that too.
Yep.
We do
all
that
the
too.
Time.
All the time. In fact, the original sponsors, they weren't called sponsors, but they opened up their homes.
Yep.
People would work on their farms, things like that. We do not provide domestic or vocational counseling. We don't? I don't think we should, but I think we tend to do that sometimes.
Yeah.
We do not accept any money for its services or any contributions from non-AA sources.
I don't believe we should be doing that.
We shouldn't be doing that, but I see it happen all the time.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So there's a whole bunch of things that we don't do that is true, but these are ones that we actually, more times than not, we actually do. So what I'm saying here is that I don't think we know our own material. I really don't. That's why I brought that up. It also says members from court programs.
Remember that, each group, if they have the fundamental idea what this thing's all about, can make their own bylaws.
Yeah, as long as they don't affect the organization as a whole.
As a whole.
And now that opens up to all sorts of interpretations from people. That part that said that we don't...
but I mean, what I'm basically talking about is the way they run their group.
Yeah, I know.
But the minute they start discriminating, I don't think it's going to last.
No. The one that says we don't engage in education about alcohol, it's interesting. It says we don't do that. But then on the next page, it says, but continual exposure to AA educated us to the true nature of its illness and alcohol. Well, which is it? Don't we educate or do we educate?
That is just weird.
It's a contradiction.
It very.
We cannot predict who will recover, nor have we the authority to decide how recovery should be sought by any other alcoholic. But we just talked about there's closed meetings and opens meetings, but here it says we shouldn't decide how recovery should be sought. I mean,
now wait a minute. That just is a contradiction to everything.
Yeah. Exactly.
That's a contradiction to Alcoholics Anonymous itself.
I was going to say that. That is. Do they even know what they write?
We cannot predict who will recover, nor have we the authority to decide how recovery should be sought by any other alcoholic.
No, that's not true.
I know.
Why would we share our stories then? That's what I get out of it.
The thing is I don't know who's going to recover. That's up to God himself.
And then here's one. We cannot discriminate against any prospective AA member, even if he or she comes to us under pressure from a court, an employer, or any other agency. And yet we do it all the time. We share in meetings. Well, if you're court ordered here, we're not going to sign your paper. If you're court ordered here, you really don't need to be sharing.
You know what? I'm glad I never heard that because I was
I've heard
here
it.
from court ordered 6 years ago, but now it's like if somebody would have told me that, I probably would have just gone out and just have the case of the efforts.
So it's that thing. If you don't want to be here, then you're not welcome, right? Well, I don't know one person.
Hollers, yeah.
That woke up one morning and said, "This is what I want to do."
Mm-hmm. None.
Nobody came there because they wanted to. Give me a break.
God, that's...
All right. So now that I've opened up a can of worms, I'm sure I'm going to hear from folks.
Hey, it's fine.
By the way, did you notice, and I say this all the time, because somebody's going to go, well, what about this anonymity thing? You're on radio. Did you notice that we don't use last names? Mm-hmm. And, excuse me, the law, by the way, the law always trumps our traditions, the law of the land. And so, Take 12 Radio, there's a place where my last name is used because by FCC regulations, I have to. Mm-hmm. So that trumps that. But even though I that's there, for the most part, I'm referred to as the Monty Man.
Yeah.
But the deal is, you will never hear me tell you that I am a member of. Mm-hmm. I've never said it. I've said I've been to an AA meeting. I've said I know people in AA. This is what I may have heard at a meeting. But I will never claim fellowship in Alcoholics Anonymous over the airwaves.
Yeah.
I don't do it, and I won't do it. Mm-hmm. So that's there. Now, if you guess that's not on me. That's
exactly.
So anyway, we're gonna listen. Go ahead.
I don't think we give a good answer to this. Closed and open meeting.
I don't think there is a good answer for it.
I think everybody should really just take a good look at it.
Mm-hmm.
And think about it. And know that sometimes we need counseling, on these things.
On these things, yeah.
We just can't pick a piece of paper up and read it.
Slap it on the wall.
Yeah. And understand that, hey, listen, this says closed. You can't come in here.
Right.
I still think there needs to be revision on it, though, on both of them.
Well, keep going to those service conventions and put your 2 cents in there.
But you see what I'm saying? And it's well worth it if people would do that. Mm-hmm. And we could just get one or two people that have done the research like you have, Bonnie, and are willing to voice that when there is a discussion where people can get that understanding of what it's about, I think it would be okay. But there's such... I'm one of the people that don't know.
Yeah.
I'm one of the people that causes confusion.
Right.
You know? So
Well, I'm not exempt from that either.
Yeah.
Neither.
You know.
So I think it's important that we look at, and I think we took this thing off by how come we can't just have opinions about this thing?
Right.
You know? Hey, we're talking about a person's life here.
Yeah.
We're talking about a disease.
Right.
You know, that is progressive in nature. And if we can get it arrested before too much more damage is done, that's what we're looking to.
Get rid of the labels.
Is doing that. And the only way I know to do that is to have the person use the method by which we call the steps and then get a personal relationship with God. You know, and let God do this.
Yeah.
Because I can't.
Yep.
I can't even keep care of myself.
Amen.
You know, and I just really have been in a uproar about what this is about, and I give some pretty boisterous opinions about what I thought this was all about, and just caused more confusion.
Yep, I know.
You know, so I think I had to say that because I don't want people thinking that we sit out here because we can't see you. We're giving you this opinion.
Exactly.
And we know.
Exactly. We
Sometimes
don't know ourselves
We're
some
not-
days.
We're not, you know, I like the show that Recovery 101 did on Guru Who was the topic last week on their show. And, you know, if we set people up as gurus, you know, we're no guru in
far
this
from
thing.
it.
Because now that I read the stuff from the General Service Office, I'm more confused than I ever was.
Amen. I know. I thought it was just me. I'm like, I'm more confused now after the show.
Yeah. But I know that you do a lot of work and
You do.
and research into this thing, and I don't care what that paper says. That's what we do. See, we want to give people the facts for they can make an informed decision.
Yeah. So you want to talk about stirring up the mess? We're going to bring up an old topic. I don't think it's ever out of date. For next week. Recovered or recovering?
That'll be just as fun as this one.
Or recovering. Everybody's done it. Everybody's done the topic on this. Anybody that's done any kind of 12-step podcast stuff. So we're going to look at that again. And so this is my challenge for all the listeners that may have an opinion one way or the other. Read the literature. Read the literature. Because that's the program, not the fellowship. Because what you hear in the fellowship may be something very different. All right, so one of my favorite songs by Michael Pernton and the Messengers is a song we played on this show before, and I thought it was really apropos, and it's simply entitled, what is it entitled? Closed Meetings.
Oh, jeez.
Here's Michael and his band.
We got a pretty exclusive club here. We're badasses off the booze. Had to pass out in public to be a member. Had to vomit on my shoes. Had warrants out on me in 3-4 states. Checks bouncing all over the banks. I was in detox before you were born. I spilled more than you drank. It's a closed meeting. No normies allowed. Closed meeting. We're sick and proud. Gotta fill your world with distrust. Fill your friends with pain and disgust if you want to be one of us. Are you really an alcoholic? You better have a hell of a story to prove it. We don't let just anybody in here. If you still got a family, a home, a career, you may not measure up as a lowlife. Like me with my 3 DUIs, on a first-name basis with the paramedics, had my stomach pumped 5 times. It's a closed meeting, no normies allowed. Closed meeting, we're sick and proud. Gotta fill your world with distrust, fill your friends with pain and disgust. If you wanna be one of us, do you wanna be one of us? Principles in this program. Love and tolerance is our code, but you'd have had a blacked out and come to driving down the wrong side of the road. If you expect acceptance from these masters of gin-soaked sin, you gotta be as awful as all of us before we let you in. It's a closed meeting, no normies allowed. Closed meeting, we're sick and proud. It's a closed meeting, no normies allowed. Closed meeting. You got dues to pay. Let me see your resume. Did you really live in the bars? Let me see your scars. Did you truly defile yourself? How much of your liver is left? Before we give you the nod, you gotta believe we are God.
Michael Purrington and the Messengers. Until our next broadcast, we're wishing God's perfect serenity for you.
This has been a broadcast of Take 12 Recovery Radio and KHLT Recovery Broadcasting.